My name is Burton. I'm from Salinas, California. I'm a poet. I'm a poet and activist in Monterey County. I've probably seen most of y'all at these protests, so thank you for being here and being a part of the movement and making sure that we have our voice and that no one else takes it from us. Because for too long, minorities have been used to create the American dream. We have been used so that other people can have it. But it's time that we take our dream. Okay? So, I'm going to start us off with a poem I wrote. It's called Sisters of Trauma. We are sisters of trauma. We whisper into the darkest corners of the night, crying out for the souls of our stolen sisters, the secrets we scratched into walls as we gritted our teeth and forced screams from words. We know barren corners, how many inches of bed is from a floorboard, how easily a street can swallow a soul, how deep they will have to bury us to forget. I'm taking my mask off, I can't stand it. They convince themselves, they make excuses, they wrap the noose tighter around our throats, telling each other that our stereotypes mean consent, our bodies waiting to be claimed. We know the reason why lullabies and cries rhyme. Sweet sister, they will make serenades out of you and sing them to other women. Now we are the bell tolled to warn the village that the bad men are coming. We know the taste of gunpowder, how it feels to spit out ammunition for a war we did not start. When the collateral damage became our sisters, where our bodies became the spoils of a victory, of spoils of a war. What is a pawn left to do when there is no one there to guide it? They ask. We ask into the shadow void, the emptiness before the sand drips into unmeasured time, when we lose track of how many they have taken, how many graves left empty and missing person signs left up. We are the game left unfinished in an abandoned house, a memory, a nudge to the cranium, a guess on a late night that keeps you awake, the persistent cry that makes a country stare up at the ceiling, wondering if they left something behind. So now after that, let's go. Let's go. So now with some facts and some stats, because that rhymes. Human trafficking earns global profits of roughly $150 billion a year for traffickers, 99 billion of which comes from the commercial sexual exploitation. Globally, an estimated 71% of enslaved people are women and children, while men and boys create 29%. Sadly, estimates suggest that internationally, only about, now let's listen to this, 0.04% of survivors of human sex trafficking cases are identified, meaning the vast majority of cases for human sex trafficking go undetected. Two more. Estimates suggest that 50,000 people are trafficked into the U.S. each year, most often from Mexico and the Philippines. The average age of a teen entering the sex trade in the U.S. is 12 to 14 years old. If you have any younger siblings, cousins, nephews, nieces, please raise your hand if they're around that age.
I have a son 6 years old now.
Children. Every single one of us has loved ones that can be targeted. We ourselves are the targets as well. As a Black and Latina woman in the United States, I'm terrified every day that I live in this country, especially with the opposition we already face. We are likely to find that as a result of systemic inequality born from discrimination, minorities have an increased risk of being trafficked, at least as if we didn't have it hard enough, right? I know most girls here at night, getting off of work or going to school, have their keys in their knuckles, have pepper spray. You've gone online on Amazon or an online website, looked at how much it would be to protect yourselves. Let's be honest. We see the ads, the pink pepper spray, right? This isn't something this isn't new. This isn't new. And we also love YouTube teaching us self-defense, TikTok with the white ladies that teach us how to protect ourselves. Come on, we love them. Yes, it has become normalized, even a part of girl code. We are exploited in many different areas of life. A UCLA law review states, hypersexualized stereotypes about minority teens continues to drive their prostitution and sexual exploitation. Lawmakers presume that minors have consented to prostitution even when they are a minor. Even when you cannot consent, but because you're a person of color, Their law suggests that you don't need to give consent. That is why we are seeing things that happen, and I know you all saw it, where the 16-year-old girl that was trafficked, and she's getting charged with her trafficker's crimes. Crystal, let's talk about it. Girls, Crystal, come on, Crystal, let's go. Girls, especially those who are black or people of color, have been silenced for generations. We are made to be appreciative or complacent, even when it means sacrificing our own comfortability. Because we don't want to be the dramatic one, or the angry black woman, or the little girl that makes it more than it is, right? Throughout history, we have seen black and brown women being left behind. And we have become an afterthought and been left on the back burner of history. Build the stairs for the country, but never take the stairs for yourself, right? My little sister is 13. So when I say that these facts terrify me, I hope that you know it's the truth! It's the truth! What people do not seem to understand, while also taking this threat seriously, is that it can be any one of us. One of us could be walking after this march and get snatched, and that's why I want to see you all walking in pairs, because let's be honest. No matter where you live or who you are, you can be taken and sold into human trafficking. I'm tired of sugarcoating the truth. This shouldn't be easy to swallow, and neither should kids in cages, right? Y'all easily live your lives not knowing these kids are in freaking cages, right? Human trafficking is an immigration issue. Immigrant women are the most trafficked group in the United States. They are targets because they have no records, and they cannot be tracked and easily swept up when they're traveling. People aren't upset enough about it because it's making people in power money. Let's be honest. These people are making money from our suffering.
Hell yes.
Minorities, we have never been protected in this country. We built this country. Our bones of our ancestors are in the dirt of this country. Many people come to this country with wishes and pursuits for a better life, and all they are met with is hostility and violence. I am told that I am lucky to have been born here, but I have never felt safe here. I cannot even imagine how it is for my family members who weren't even born here. Let's take a second to imagine a girl around my age. I'm 20. So this person could be getting ready for college, anyone younger could be getting ready for middle school or elementary, still relying on their parents to comb their hair and remind them to brush their teeth, the little things of childhood we take for granted. Now imagine this elementary school student is being trafficked or kept in a cage. They're terrified, surviving in horrible conditions, being abused and neglected. Imagine wanting to go home but not even remembering where your home is. What your parents even look like. Imagine that, if you can't even remember your parents' face the last time your mom kissed your cheek. On top of this, let's not even talk about the fact that they don't speak our language. They don't understand this culture. So they're brought to a country by their parents for a dream that they never get because they're stuck at the freaking border. We should be angry. I'm an angry black woman. I'm an angry Latina. I'm supposed to be. Because I see my people getting hanged, and I see my people in cages, and if you're not mad, you're a part of the problem. So I have a question for the people in charge. Where are our kids? 3,000 or more, probably more, that we do not know about. Go missing from the ICE detention centers. Children who are brought here by their parents and separated. By February 2018, thousands of immigrant children said that they were sexually abused in the U.S. detention centers, which led to the ICE detention centers saying that they didn't have any control over what happened in the detention centers and that it wasn't their fault. We have heard this before. We're not surprised because we've seen the corporation that says they're not in charge of their employees sexualizing a co-worker. We've seen it when the good kid at the good college makes a mistake one time, but they're a good person. We shouldn't ruin their life for one mistake, right? Baby, let's go. The perpetrators get left off of either no change or charges or no probation. This is not just a mistake. For the survivors, for those children who are kept in these cycles of sexual abuse, this is all they will remember. They act as if their crimes are just an illness we have to deal with. People don't seem to understand that these kids are losing their childhoods. They are losing recess time, telling their mothers what they learned after school, ice cream on a hot day, running around with their siblings, making friends, telling their parents they love them. doing homework, picking out new clothes for school, and seeing their families every day. Today we stand for these women and children in slavery. We will be the voice for the voiceless. When they can't speak, we will scream. We won't brush their lives away because they matter. This is so much bigger than one person, and this is why we need each other. For big problems, we need big minds, we need unity. Without it, we will lose much more than we have already lost. While we are over here fighting each other, arguing over whose lives matter and who deserves to be in this rotten country, predators are taking more women and children. More of us are being slaughtered as we play this oppression Olympics. If we're so busy fighting each other, the enemy wins. It is a tactic they have used for centuries. If minorities fight each other, they never fight to become the majorities. This is no longer about I, it is about us. We have to stand and fight for one another in this battle, because if they don't, they will break us up. We see it in Portland. We're seeing it everywhere across the country. Instead of fighting each other for scraps from the table, we need to fight for a seat at the table. Let's create policy and legislation that will stop this from continuing. Let's get our people in office so that our needs are at heart and not their pockets. I'm telling my brothers and sisters, because you guys are my family, if you're standing here with me today. If you stand by me, we will change the world. We will stop these powers from controlling us, and the next generation after us. We will no longer be sheep led to the slaughter. The government has showed us what side they are on. History will prove them wrong. It's time we show them who's really in charge, because we built this country and we'll take it back. Yes. So, sorry, all the tears. To quote the Mockingjay, to quote the Mockingjay, to Donald Trump and every old white man in office, to every cop and ICE agent, to every person who is against us and might tear us down, if we burn, you burn with us!
Hit the share button, y'all.
Ready? Can we get a channel going real quick? Free the children! Free the children! Free the children! Free the children!